welcome to the episode of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here, Eric Rodriguez, every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time, here to talk about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling on the GSMC Sports Network. So, thank you for joining in. Hope you guys had an amazing Tuesday. We're almost there, guys. It's almost, midweek. Tomorrow is a Wednesday. Hope you guys had a great Tuesday. Hope you guys had an amazing Veterans Day weekend. And let's go ahead and talk about the greatest thing in the world, the national phenomenon in terms of sports entertainment, which is professional wrestling. We have a great show for you today on tap. We're going to talk about WWE Monday Night RAW. We're going to talk about a little bit about what could possibly happen on NXT. We're going to talk about Monday Night Raw going on to Netflix. We're going to talk about this new era of Monday Night Raw and what to kind of expect from it, what has already been kind of reported in terms of wrestling media. And then in our fourth segment, we're going to talk about New Japan Professional Wrestling. They hosted a PLE over the weekend called Fighting Spirit Unleashed. We're going to talk about that. And then our fifth and final segment, something we do every Tuesday. I talk to you guys, about my Tuesdays Today in wrestling history, where I, drag you guys into my wrestling DeLorean, gun it to 88 miles per hour, hit the flux capacitor, take you back in time in the world of professional wrestling, talk about some memorable moments, some cool moments. Although I did do, quite some research, and I couldn't really find any things that really popped. But of course, we're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work. All right, before we jump on into any of that, I want to remind you guys to go ahead and hit up that super chat button right there, whether if you got a burning question or a hot take in terms of professional wrestling. Here at the GSMC Sports Network, we want you guys to feel like if you're dying to get something off your chest, we are all ears 1,010%. This show is all about keeping the conversation lively, making sure you guys feel like your voice is part of the mix. So drop your thoughts. Don't be shy inside that chat box. And if you really want to make sure your comment, question, or concern gets noticed, why not use that super chat? It's that $ next to the chat box right there. Whatever you guys put in there is guaranteed to be featured on this show, be talked about, maybe even debated about if it's something really, something really juicy. And plus, it's a great way to support our channel here at the GSMC Sports Network. We definitely do love, bringing you guys, awesome content that you guys yearn for so dang much. Obviously, it helps us, keep these podcasters doing what they do best, which is, put on some good sports podcasting. Give you guys all the cool factoids that is your favorite sports, football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, wherever, or in this case, professional wrestling. So to keep awesome podcasts like my own on the air, why not use that super chat? And, first and foremost, thank you in advance. We are super grateful for each and every one of you guys who joins us here daily on the GSMC Sports Network. Your support makes all the difference. So let's keep the conversation going. Let's get this party started. Send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. And together we will make sure this show is, bigger, better, and stronger than ever. Once again, super chat, not your thing. It's all good. Hit up the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. Shoot me your comments, questions, or concerns. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. Just remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show, follow the network here, the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity, 1,010%. But of course, in terms of talking sports, it's inevitable. Disagreements, some criticisms are going to happen. It's all good in the neighborhood. Feedback is a gift. All in all, can't wait to see what you guys have to say inside that chat box. All right, without further ado, let's talk about some WWE Monday Night Raw. All in all, great episode. WWE under the Triple H Paul Levesque era has been, nothing short of stellar. So, obviously a lot of good things happening right now. A lot of build up toward Survivor Series, War Games, which was, a lot of implications happened, tonight, definitely. First and foremost, you saw Monday Night Raw start off with Gunther. Gotta be honest, he looks a little shooken. He doesn't look like that same ring general. He doesn't have that presence that he once had. Maybe this is, foreshadowing him dropping the belt against Damien Priest at Survivor Series. I don't know how well that would be in terms of the storyline. Maybe he drops the belt, maybe decides to take some time away from WWE, disappears, off of the face of the earth for quite some time, just so we can kind of recollect himself, just kind of recreate his character. Because right now you kind of have him with Ludwig Kaiser, him as a WWE World Heavyweight Champion. He's a great competitor. He's a great competitor, but compelling storylines, can you really, if it's not the same storyline that's constantly being, regurgitated, wash, rinse, and repeat. Where Gunther, the same storyline that Gunther's this badass champion, this big bad guy who's dominant inside the ring, and the guy who always fights against him is the underdog. So the storyline, maybe WWE starting to get a little maybe a little tired of it, but if you put the belt on Damien Priest, I feel like a lot there's a couple of different doors that definitely open up. And I know that come, the year 2025, Vince McMahon promised Goldberg a farewell match, and it's going to be against Gunther. Obviously, it should not be with any gold implications inside the match. But this would be a great way for them to start building up their rivalry, maybe at Royal Rumble. People think it might be at Royal Rumble, in my opinion. If you're going to have a match of that caliber, it has to be at WrestleMania. It has to be in Las Vegas, Nevada, because Goldberg he's just so well known all over the sports world and stuff like that. So it feels like it's perfect. It's perfect on WrestleMania. How long it's going to take to kind of develop the storyline, that's a whole different question in itself. But right now, obviously what you saw later on in the show with a little bit of turmoil between the street trash of the Judgment Day with Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio. Finn Balor is going to be possibly, looking for another storyline. He still wants a piece of Damian Priest. I wanted this match with Damian and Finn for quite some time. I was hoping it would be for the belt. I feel like it kind of, it needed to be in that case. They can have a nice little rivalry, go back and forth and, dropping the title to each other, creating a nice little, kind of like a nice little rivalry would be pretty cool. But Gunther, even Damian Priest saw it. He said, he seems like you're full of doubt. If I was talking this much mess to anybody inside the ring, you would have slapped me or punched me by now. And then you saw Ludwig Kaiser come out. Ludwig Kaiser came out and then started talking mess to Damian Priest, saying that he is trailer trash, that his parents don't care about him. And so kind of like that promo that Gunther cut when he faced Damian Priest earlier. And Gunther kind of shut him down. He was like, he kind of grabbed the mic from Ludwig. He was like, dude, honestly, just you don't know what you're talking about. Like, shut up. I really don't need this right now. Damian Priest, he could be right. He got pinned by Cody, maybe hurt his confidence. I don't think it should hurt his confidence that much losing against the WWE champion, the new face of WWE. I wouldn't really take it to heart that much, but obviously Gunther, he's a competitor. He's not used to losing. And then the moment, like, somebody who's always winning all the time, even in life, someone who's successful, gets a single taste of, a downtrodden or like a financial instability or they lose money and stuff like that. And sometimes they kind of fall into like a deep depression. Obviously comparing apples to oranges here, but maybe, kind of like that storyline. I feel like that's the reason why they're kind of overall doing it. So Dakota Kai is back in Damage Control. Damage Control has gone full baby face, obviously, going against Pure Fusion Collective. Once again, Pure Fusion Collective loses to Damage Control, which is kind of the right thing to do. Io Sky building up momentum for her match against Liv Morgan for the World's Women's Heavyweight Championship is top priority. Being really honest, top priority. But Dakota Kai was, great to see her back inside the ring. Once again, would be an amazing WWE Women's mid-card belt holder like the Women's Intercontinental Championship that was not unveiled on Monday Night Raw. I know I did a segment about it yesterday, so I feel kind of dumb. But overall, like, they didn't mention anything about WWE SmackDown unveiling the Women's United States Championship. I feel like if they were trying to get competitors from Monday Night Raw to overall, kind of participate in this new tournament or participate in any matches that kind of are leaning toward a title shot for that mid-card belt, I thought, it would have been brought up. You've seen Raw reference SmackDown like, oh, what happened this Friday night on SmackDown? Like Wade Barry, this happened on SmackDown. Like, you know what I mean? But it didn't happen, which makes me think and gives me hope that we're still going to see Monday Night Raw kind of have their own women's mid card title, and it feels like right now, it seems like that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. All right, so next you saw a promo between Sami Zayn and the Usos. Jimmy Uso, although he broke character so many times on SmackDown, is still kind of throwing some hate to Sami Zayn. Like, you know what I mean? Sami Zayn, and they were talking about, hey, we need a fifth member. Jimmy Uso still skeptical about Sami Zayn, not trusting him. Does Sami Zayn really have to prove his has to prove his worth again to the family? I think Sami, if he's ever stuck in that situation, he's going to be like, no, I don't want to do that, which is by all means what he should do, which is awesome because it just keeps building up more tension, more inner turmoil between the faction, this cold alliance that's, very fragile right now. That is the original bloodline. So it's, it's a work in progress right now. What they're trying to establish with Sami Zayn entering the Bloodline Civil War, but it's still perfect. It's so awesome. Obviously, it does need to be handled a little bit delicately, like having Sami Zayn, betray Roman, Jimmy, and Jay, and go over to Solo Sikoa. Obviously, wasn't is shouldn't be on the map. I feel like fans have been waiting for this moment for quite some time, and now that they finally have it, it's going to be kind of hard to let it go. Next, we have Kofi Kingston taking on Pete Dunne. Xavier Woods once again gets involved in Kofi's match, and Kofi did not want the help. He didn't approve. He doesn't want to cheat. Got in Xavier Woods' face, and Xavier Woods actually brought up a pretty good point. He was telling Kofi Kingston, like, you're too busy worried about other people as opposed to worrying about your own career. So in that case, Kofi kind of has to look in the mirror a little bit and be like, yeah, you know what, like, yeah, that's true. That's true, 1,010%. But Kofi Kingston, obviously, the New Day's all about going out and helping the little guy, and helping our boy R-Truth. We kind of abandoned him a couple of weeks ago on Monday Night Raw, and he got kind of jumped, and kind of questioning Xavier Woods' new overall mentality. And I saw the way that he kind of did, the way he looked after Kofi Kingston got pinned in that, like everybody knew that was gonna happen. He kind of gave that look. He shook his head. It was like, he's done. He's completely done with the New Day. He's tired of Kofi Kingston's, you know, um, always wanting to, like. It's not that Xavier Woods wants to be a bad guy. It's not like he's going full crazy heel, but he just wants to win. And sometimes, playing a little dirty, you've seen the best do it in the past. Obviously, the dirtiest player in the game, Ric Flair, established success. Obviously, you saw Triple H, and, it just, it works. Even CM Punk did it in the past as well. So, there's going to be a little bit of more build up toward this breakup, but this is definitely going to happen. I got to be honest, I'm a little upset. And yeah, Finn Balor, what we talked about earlier, scolded Dominic Mysterio, and now we have a Dominic Mysterio and Carlito teaming up against the War Raiders for the WWE World Tag Team titles. And I hate it. I don't. I didn't like it. I was already kind of skeptical about JD being in the match, but Finn Balor needs to get out of the Judgment Day. Something needs to happen where he gets out. This Judgment Day storyline is literally holding on by a thread. Finn Balor has single-handedly been keeping afloat the careers of JD McDonough, of Dominic Mysterio, of Carlito as of late. And obviously, you kind of saw Dominic Mysterio kind of leech onto Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, and now he's going to be a part of that storyline. So they don't really need the Judgment Day so much to kind of promote him. So Finn Balor, I think it's time to bounce, man. Once when they lose those tag team titles, Finn Balor is going to be extremely pissed. He's gonna get in Dominic Mysterio's face and probably end up, having a match with Dom. I don't know if they're going to turn Finn completely like babyface. He's been a heel for quite some time now. He hasn't really been a babyface since that's not true. But for me, I feel like it's been a long time for Finn, and I feel like him as a babyface, I feel like he has more of an opportunity to kind of flourish as opposed to what when he's a heel. So I guess we have that match to look forward to next week. Bronson Reed comes out and speaks, challenges Seth Rollins once again. Rollins comes out, confronts Reed. These guys beat the holy hell out of each other. Nobody can break them up. Sami Zayn is seen in the back talking to Seth freaking Rollins, asking him to join him and Roman Reigns and the Usos, and Seth Rollins wasn't having it. He was like, "Look, I teamed up with Roman Reigns once before, and I've done everything in his power to tear this tyrant down. Why would you want to bring him back up again?" Like, you know what I mean? And that's true, and he has some great points. So Sami Zayn, obviously, they're looking for that fifth member. It's not, I don't think they're going to find it in Seth Rollins, so it should be interesting to find out moving forward. Damien Priest defeats Ludwig Kaiser, obviously, pretty soundly, pretty easily. Damien Priest building up momentum. Gunther comes out at the end, kind of giving him a nod of approval. In the back, there's a promo between Braun Breaker and Sheamus. Braun Breaker challenged Sheamus, and he's going to fight him for the Intercontinental Championship next week. It's kind of crazy how they set it up, this feud between these two fighting each other at WWE Speed. Not really your adequate, cliche WWE Speed kind of fighters. Once again, I feel like this is one of the huge flaws in WWE Speed. It's supposed to be about, I know Braun Breaker is big and speedy and stuff like that, but there has to be a weight limit. I feel like there has to be a weight class, kind of like when you had 205 live, when some people under 205 pounds would only compete. But obviously, they're kind of having a different direction with WWE Speed. So then we see Jimmy approach Braun Breaker. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that possibly means that he's going to try to, get him on his team. I do not. I hope not. Next, we have the Final Testament confronting The Miz. The Miz said, and I quote, "I promised to change my ways and they let me go." And then they brought Miz out to the ring, beat him up. Obviously, this was to bait the Wyatt Sicks to come out, and they did. Uncle Howdy, the Wyatt Sicks family came out, and they were absolutely demolished by the Final Testament, which was, quite a, kind of a shocker. But then at the end of the promo, you saw, Karrion Kross looking kind of spooked, looking back at Uncle Howdy, laughing inside the ring. Uncle Howdy looking him dead in the eyes, basically saying, like, were we baited in, or did we want you guys to do that? You know what I mean? So, that storyline's heating up. These two factions are going to fight each other. I'm just praying on for some war games. It'd be stupid, absolutely stupid, if these guys fought at Survivor Series without being in a war game. So I thought, definitely that needs to happen. So Sikoa approaches Seth Rollins for recruitment. And, Seth Rollins was like, "Look, I don't like, Roman Reigns, and I want to do everything in my power to kind of kick him down. I want to stop his face in once again, but I will never join forces with the wannabe Roman Reigns." So I thought that was kind of funny. Morgan and Rodriguez fight Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. And of course, what I did not want to happen, interference. Hated it. Nia, Tiffany Stratton, and then Naomi, and then Io Sky, and then later, Candice LeRae, and of course, Rhea Ripley makes a return when Raw went off the air, hinting at a War Games match. We are going to have Team Rhea, Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, Io Sky, and Naomi taking on Team Liv, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, Candice LeRae, and Raquel Rodriguez. So, definitely a lot of things to look forward to. Like I said, a lot of implications heading toward WWE Survivor Series in about 2 weeks. So, it's definitely heating up, and I, for one, cannot wait. All right, guys. So, hey, thank you guys for staying in with me for that segment. Now we're going to talk about my second segment. We have WWE NXT live tonight. Make sure you guys catch it. But before you go watch that episode, make sure you guys, stay tuned and, maybe get a little bit of insight before you guys, break off and go enjoy some WWE. So grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice cold beverage, and join me here in about 20 seconds. So, hey, do not go anywhere.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift. Oh,
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
All right, welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time, here to talk about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside the ring, backstage curtain calls, rumors, and drama. We talk about superstar news, updates, inactive statuses. We talk about contract negotiations, extensions, and new signings. We talk about promotions from WWE to AEW to TNA to Ring of Honor to New Japan Professional Wrestling to the NWA to the GCW. If it makes major news in the world of professional wrestling, we talk about it here on this show 1010%. It's kind of reflecting what we talked about in our first segment. We had our WWE Monday Night RAW review, and now we're going to talk about some NXT. But before we do any of that, I want to remind you guys to go ahead and hit up that super chat, whether if you got a burning question or hot take in terms of professional wrestling, or just something you've been dying to share. We are all ears here at the GSMC Sports Network. This show is all about keeping the conversation lively, making sure you guys feel like your voice is part of the mix, so don't be shy. Drop your thoughts inside that chat. And if you really want to make sure your comment, question, or concern gets noticed on the show, hit up that $sign right next to that chat box right there. Anything you guys put inside that super chat is going to be guaranteed to be featured and talked about on the show 1010%. Plus, it's an absolute great way to support our channel. Let's keep the GSMC Sports Network going. And plus we bring you guys awesome sports content that you guys love so dang much. So it's kind of a mutual beneficial relationship there. So we are super grateful for each and every one of you guys who joins us here daily on the GSMC Sports Network. Thank you in advance. Your support makes all the difference. So let's keep the conversation going. Send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. And together we will make sure this podcast is, bigger, better, and stronger than ever. Once again, the super chat, not your thing. It's all good. Go ahead and hit up the gsmcpodcast.net. Hit up the tips and donations link. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. Just remember to Superman punch that like a subscribe button to the show. Follow the show, follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity, 1010%. But of course, in terms of talking sports, it's inevitable. There's going to be disagreements, criticisms, and, it's all part of the game, guys. So, it's all gravy, baby. At the end of the day, we're family. We're all part of this wrestling family. Feedback is a gift, so don't be shy. Drop however you guys feel inside that chat. Give me a shout out of where you're listening from. Give me your list of your top 10 favorite wrestlers. It's if it's about professional wrestling, we talk about here on this show, so do not be shy. Definitely do not be shy. All right, let's go ahead and jump on into some WWE NXT. We are on the road to NXT Deadline happening December 7th. We're going to start off with some NXT Women's North American Championship match tonight. Fallon Henley, in her first defense, is against the former NXT Women's North American Champion, Kelani Jordan, her rematch. It's, I really wouldn't see any reason why Kelani Jordan would, get the title back. If she does, Fatal Influence right now, they need a spark. And when Fallon Henley won that match, it made this team a little relevant. Now you have JC Jane and Jasmine Nix. They're going to kind of be those, they're part of that, with Triple H and Evolution, with Batista, Randy Orton. They're going to be around gold. When you're around gold in professional wrestling, usually opportunities, they follow, for example, also Damage Control with Bayley, Io Sky, Kairi Sane, and Asuka and stuff like that. They eventually won the Women's World Tag Team Championships. So, obviously, maybe JC Jane and Jasmine Nix decided to team up to take on Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. So that could definitely be a possibility as well. But right now, it would make no sense for WWE to take the belt off of Fallon. I feel like when she won the title, she kind of had an emotional breakdown. Backstage, she was so happy. Obviously, you kind of saw that post with Shawn Michaels. Like I said, try not to break kayfabe or anything like that. But she's been waiting quite some time too, and she's been busting her ass to be a top competitor on the NXT brand. So by all means, if this creates a new, different kind of flavor with this title belt that is the Women's North American Championship, then so be it. You know what I mean? It kind of needs something. it needs something different. Like you had Kelani Jordan and you had that American sweetheart who used to, did do gymnastics and stuff like that. And it was cool. It was good. It was a classic baby face and it was awesome. Now you kind of need a little wrong. You know what I mean? You can't be, sunshine and daisies and lollipops all day, every day, and flying unicorns. Sometimes you kind of needs that rough and tough and Fallon Henley, she's that type of competitor. And JC Jane watching her back and Jasmine Nix could definitely make sure that she holds the title for quite some time. I feel like right now this is a new belt. Kelani Jordan had about maybe 100 and something day. I'm not too sure. She had about 100 and something day reign, which wasn't bad. She did what she wanted to do. The moment she won the title, she said she was going to set out and make this title prestigious by holding it as long as possible, defending it at all costs against anyone who steps up to the challenge. So you can't really be mad at Kelani Jordan. More or less, she's a hell of a competitor. She's a hell of a competitor, 1,010%. And you're going to see that reciprocated with Fallon Henley because the way she wrestles inside the ring is it's pretty darn good as well. So, like I said, new style, kind of bringing up another approach is, it's good for NXT, kind of like a new flavor. You know what I mean? Especially on the CW network. You're on TV, so definitely think that's great for her. Next, we have NXT Iron Survivor qualifying matches. We have Wesley taking on Cedric Alexander. That match should be pretty darn good right now. You kind of had Wesley and Javon Evans going at it. They fought each other at the ECW arena, where obviously Javon Evans, with the help of Rob Van Dam, came out victorious. And I like the spot that they have for Javon Evans, but I definitely like the spot they're doing right now with Wesley. Wesley is I don't know if he's going to jump back into the NXT North American Championship picture right away, but as the title holder, I can definitely see him holding the title and being kind of like that, kind of being that jerk, like you know what I mean, like that anti-hero kind of persona inside, like Trick Williams is so over right now. He's so over as a babyface. And him defeating Ethan Page is just gonna put the icing on the cake. But it should be interesting to find out how this match comes out. These two have very similar styles in wrestling, believe it or not. So this match is going to be good. Definitely going to be a sleeper for the match of the night tonight on NXT. So Ruka takes on Cora Jade. Will Cora Jade jump back into her winning ways tonight against Ruka? Like you saw Cora Jade team up with Roxanne Perez to take on Julia and Stephanie Vaquer. They lost. She, in that 5-woman massive tag team match last week on NXT, she lost. So, right now, Cora Jade, she needs to build up a lot of momentum. And Ruka as well is definitely one of the promising rising stars in the women's division on NXT. I kind of thought she was going to be the inaugural WWE NXT Women's North American Champion, but obviously, like what I previously said about Kelani Jordan, I felt like WWE did do a good job on selecting Kelani Jordan and representing that title and that brand. So Ruka definitely definitely not to be taken for not taken for granted. That's not the right word. Definitely not taken into, damn it, I can't think of the right word. You shouldn't cut her short, basically. You shouldn't cut her short because she can definitely, she can definitely kick some ass and she can definitely defeat Cora Jade tonight. So yeah, underestimated. She should not be underestimated. Damn it, I can't believe I could have thought that word. Man, I'm getting old. I'm just kidding. Next, we have Stephanie Vaquer and Julia team up against Metaphor, Jakira Jackson, and Lash Legend tonight on NXT. This is going to be a good match because I have Lash Legend kind of stepping up, kind of taking her career into new heights upcoming to 2025. There's been speculations that Metaphor is going to make a jump onto the main roster. Lash Legend is definitely one of the most impressive women on this NXT roster that's already completely loaded. Julia and Stephanie Vaquer, obviously, established main event card wrestlers, obviously outside of WWE. Lash Legend is kind of still on the outside looking in. And Jakira Jackson obviously going to be like her ride or die kind of partner, you know what I mean? So, I definitely think they have a future in NXT as well. or somewhere like SmackDown or Raw. I was kind of thinking, if WWE unveiled a WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship on Monday Night Raw, Lash Legend could definitely be the one, that the moment she makes her debut on Raw, hold that title loud and proud, and I think she'd be great. We also have Nikita Lyons taking on Adriana Rizzo. These two has been going at it throughout weeks because Lyons was speculated on attacking Adriana Rizzo once when they were kind of having this you know this this feud with Obafemi. But should be interesting to find out if like Nikita Lyons comes out and basically says like, hey, like, guess what? Like, I didn't do it. Like, you know what I mean? So that would be interesting to kind of find out. Tonight, Ava decides new challengers for Nathan Frazier and Axiom, who's going to challenge for the WWE NXT World Tag Team titles. If I had to put my money on it, Hank and Tank, maybe that would be interesting tonight. We're probably gonna have like a not a tournament, but we're gonna maybe see something like that. Maybe an over the top rope match where like if one person gets eliminated and the whole team's eliminated. But that would that'd be kind of crazy. Or they're gonna have a number one contenders match. It'd be kind of cool if they had like a four-way ladder match, and then the winner gets the contract for the number one contenders ship. That'd be pretty dope. But that's not gonna happen, obviously. My best bet, to be honest, I see Ethan Page maybe going up to Ava, because Ethan loves just being a thorn in the side of the GM of NXT and being like, look, we defeated Bubba Ray Dudley and NXT champion Trick Williams. Me and Rich Holland deserve a title shot. Obviously, this would suck because I don't like it when two singles wrestlers team up to win tag team gold. I hate it. I don't like it. I think that kind of ultimately diminishes the tag team division on any respective brand. But Ridge isn't really working out as a main Carter or as a singles wrestler, and also Ethan Page recently lost a championship, and he's very marketable to have on television. He's very marketable to be holding gold in NXT. So maybe that's what happens tonight. Maybe Ethan Page and Rich Holland earn their shot against Nathan Frazier and Axiom. So that should be pretty awesome, obviously, to keep your eye on. And tonight we will hear from the NXT World Champion Trick Williams and find out his next move. Maybe his next challenger will be unveiled tonight. Heading up toward NXT Deadline. So yeah, it's gonna be an awesome episode of NXT. So don't miss it. All right, guys. So, hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to jump on into our third segment. We got some Monday Night Raw on Netflix era. What to expect, what has been already reported that's going to happen. Grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice cold beverage, and join me here in about 25 seconds. So, hey, do not go anywhere.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
All right, we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here, Eric Rodriguez, every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time on the GSMC Sports Network to talk about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside the ring, backstage curtain calls, rumor, and dramas. We talk about superstar and active statuses, injury updates, contract negotiations, contract extensions, and new signings. We also talk about promotions from AEW to WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, New Japan Professional Wrestling, Stardom, the GCW for makes major news in the world of professional wrestling. We talk about it here on this show, so make sure you guys tune in. All right, guys, to kind of reflect on what we talked about real quick, we talked about our WWE Monday Night Raw review, and then we talked about some NXT, what could possibly be happening right now. I got it recorded. Can't wait to watch it. Have not checked a single shred of social media, no TikTok, no Facebook, no Instagram, no nothing like that. So I'm going to go in completely blind. Love the unpredictability of professional wrestling. Why would I want to ruin it by, seeing it on Instagram or anything like that? So, yeah, but now we're moving on. We're moving on to some Monday Night Raw on Netflix era. Kind of what to expect. Kind of what we already know that's already been reported. But obviously, before we do that, remember to hit up that super chat, hit up the tips and donations link. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. Just remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show, follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity 1010%. Be a part of the show. Make sure you guys hit up those super chats to definitely support the GSMC Sports Network. All right, so it's going to jump on into our third segment. All right, we got some WWE Netflix on Monday Night Raw. We're only a few months away. We're only a few months away of WWE Raw still being on the USA Network, where it's kind of like PG-13, kind of like that, appealing to a younger audience, which is always good, which is always great for your brand. Sometimes it's not really a bad thing to kind of take on a new, more edgier adult kind of content. Like it's already been reported that Triple H, Paul Levesque, kind of wants to see it, kind of wants to see something, a little bit different, but it shouldn't definitely be thrown out the window. It's obviously what WWE has been doing has been working. It's been great. It's the reason why it's become a huge entertainment conglomerate. I remember about about like 2 to 4 years ago, sometimes you would see empty seats in the arena. It'd be blacked out. I remember going to a Monday Night Raw event about like 3 years ago, and I remember sitting in the back then it was called the Staples Center. Now it's the Crypto.com Arena, and everybody who joined got free seat upgrades because when you pay attention to kind of the production of a wrestling event, it's always that face. You're seeing the ring, you're kind of seeing back there a little bit. The announcers are usually on the right, and then the stage is on the left. So that's the main camera angle that they kind of go through. Camera two, kind of shows more of a kind of like a diagonal kind of strength onto the turnbuckles. And obviously there's a lot of moving cameras when it comes to like people doing entrances and stuff like that, and cameramen inside the ring trying to catch the moves, obviously what's happening. And and it was just kind of crazy how like I was kind of sitting there, and all over here I was on the camera side. All over here it looked like it was like totally packed. It was crazy. And I got up to grab a bag of peanuts, and I'm like, holy crap, it's crazy. Nobody would ever expect that. That's insane. But obviously it's not like that anymore. Every single time you see a Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, even on NXT, it seems like it's already sold out. It's kind of cool. It's kind of crazy. People are in love with Monday Night Raw. Definitely a perfect time for it to branch out to Netflix. We're on a 10-year deal worth more than, like around $5 billion between the streaming, juggernaut that is Netflix and WWE. It's the new home of WWE flagship show, available to be streamed in the United States, Canada, and the UK, Latin America, and also other territories with more countries and regions. Obviously expected to be added. You're going to see episodes being able to be streamed on Raw. You're going to see episodes being streamed with SmackDown. Also, PLEs like WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Royal Rumble will all be on Netflix. That's pretty huge. That's crazy. After 5 years, Netflix has the option to opt in or out of their contract, which if they opt in, obviously it means we're good to go. We're, signing on for another 10 years, which is actually kind of cool. I think they do. I think they do. I think right now you kind of have that option where you can kind of start this new day and age of professional wrestling on the streaming service that is Netflix. And I think it's going to bring them success. It's going to bring them major success. Something that Netflix does that not a lot of other streaming services do is it promotes kind of, and I don't want to sound like, I don't know, it seems like it promotes a lot of like foreign films, different countries, from Nollywood to Bollywood, obviously Asian cinema as well. You kind of get more of a, different array, which definitely brings, a lot of different fanscapes that could possibly be interested in watching stuff like WWE, or fans that are already interested in WWE and they're like, oh, cool. I'm gonna check on Netflix after I watch Monday Night Raw. I'm definitely gonna see what Netflix has to offer, and they're really good in terms of advertising. Obviously, the moment you click onto that Netflix, icon on your Roku or your Fire Stick or whatever it's called nowadays, or your smart TV, they automatically have the top ten, things that are being streamed right now. So they have documentaries, they have stuff for kids. So this is a big deal, and it's going to be very beneficial for both companies. And it's a match made in heaven. Netflix executives, according to Fightful Select, said that they have requested the likes of CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, and Roman Reigns. Will the Bloodline storyline be exclusively moving to Monday Night Raw? It's possible. It's definitely possible. They've been on the Monday Night Raw, I mean, on the Friday Night Spectrum for quite some time. It's kind of been the home of Roman Reigns. Obviously, SmackDown is the home of the Rock. They kind of had the theme of SmackDown once when back in the early 2000s when they actually created the show, and it was like the People's Champion, The Rock, the Rock show, and so it seems a little fitting that that's would stay. And, the USA Network, definitely like what you've seen once when SmackDown was, their home was Fox. You had a lot of, big name superstars on SmackDown, like, like The Rock and, like, Roman Reigns, but they would jump onto, Monday Night Raw as well on occasion on the USA Network. So it's not like I think that Netflix wants to hog all the talent, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I guess, you're a company that just invested billions of dollars in this wrestling conglomeration. You want to make sure that you're, like any investment you make in life, you want to make sure that it pays out. You want to make sure at the end of the day you're going to have revenue. There's going to be money to spend. You want to make sure that this is going to be good for your company. Obviously, you don't want to, have Dominic Mysterio be your world heavyweight champion, and you don't want to see all these guys move to SmackDown, which is not going to happen. But in terms of them having Cody Rhodes, I think that's a great idea. Having Cody Rhodes, having CM Punk, kind of having Cody Rhodes. He's been on SmackDown for quite some time. Now you kind of see him shift over to Monday Night Raw, and now with besides Solo Sikoa, Roman Reigns, The Rock, and all the bloodline drama trying to come his way, now the show becomes Cody's show. And if you think about it, you have a whole different locker room setup that could definitely challenge Cody Rhodes and have, very successful storylines like Seth Rollins, like CM Punk, like I don't think the Judgment Day would be around, to be honest. Maybe like the likes of Damien Priest, but then the World Heavyweight Champion would probably move over to SmackDown, and it would make sense for somebody like Damien Priest to kind of move over, which would be awesome to kind of have this feud between maybe like Damian Priest and Kevin Owens, to the point where Kevin Owens gets his hand on championship gold once again, and then he becomes kind of like a steeple, kind of like a main icon on SmackDown. But I don't know, it's kind of crazy. Maybe I shouldn't doubt Damian Priest that much. It feels like whenever I talk about Damian Priest, I always kind of put him in the picture of like a transitional champion, where he's not. He's a great champion. I definitely love and respect Damian Priest, and I doubt that they're going to get Roman Reigns and The Rock, which is, quite shocking. But, But then this also like brings up a lot of questions, and it's kind of crazy. Reports have already been saying that Cody Rhodes on Netflix, and Netflix have discussed the possibility of movie roles for him. So Cody Rhodes kind of stepping out and going into the Halloween scene, Hollywood scene as well. It's set for January 6th of 2025 at the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles, the new stadium. I think in Inglewood, I think it is. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that. I think in the home of the Los Angeles Clippers. CEO Paul Levesque noted that the show could look a little different, mostly regarding censorship. Both wrestlers and fans can express themselves freely during the live broadcast. John Cena has already been confirmed. Roman Reigns states that a more PG approach could definitely attract a broader audience in terms of professional wrestling. It's going to be this the first show on Monday Night Raw, much like I feel like the rest of the shows on Netflix is gonna be like PLE worthy. That's what they want it to be. It's gonna be remarkably, more different. It's than a Friday Night SmackDown. Will we see a new draft? That's kind of the question that pops up. Will we see a new draft? Will we see will we see the two brands merge together? Because right now you kind of don't really need a brand split. You kind of have wrestlers that are kind of married, to their storylines that, they follow their storylines. So then what's really the point on having them, be involved in the, a brand split? We don't have the Raw tag team titles anymore. We don't have the SmackDown women's champion. We have the world heavyweight champion. We have the WWE champion. All these titles could definitely be on one grid, you know what I mean? So I don't really see the need for Raw and SmackDown to be separate anymore, especially, during this Netflix era. But will it continue? Will this continue to be a thing? Um, will the brand split, finally be ended? So it's kind of crazy. The first episode of Monday Night Raw on Netflix, a lot of speculation surrounding it. Obviously, I feel like maybe The Rock will show up. It's the beginning of John Cena's retirement tour. We're definitely going to see ourselves some Cena. We're going to see Becky Lynch maybe make a return to WWE, and then we're going to see the start of the Seth Rollins and CM Punk feud, which is, damn, it's so crazy, like almost like a month and a half away. We're going to get Raw on Netflix. I'm totally excited to find out, like, maybe, like I said, like the guy you see on the screen right now, maybe Brock Lesnar shows up on Monday Night Raw, to challenge Cody Rhodes for the championship. That would automatically be a banger. A lot of fans would definitely love it. For me, I'm not a huge lover of Brock Lesnar. Like I do respect him as an athlete, and the fact that every single time he steps inside the ring, it's just just means that, because it's just something big. Something big is going to happen. So Brock Lesnar is definitely main event kind of worthy. So it would be very beneficial having him on the roster. But like I said, should be interesting to find out how WWE handles this. I, for one, am so excited to find out, kind of this, PG kind of era. Like, is it going to work for them? And, if are they going to go too, PG, are they going to go too edgy? And we're going to find out, obviously, come January. All right, guys. So, hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to talk about New Japan Professional Wrestling's Fighting Spirit. I'm going to give you guys the results when we come back. So, hey, do not go anywhere.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
All rider. We are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time on the GSMC Sports Network to talk about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling. So make sure you guys, check that out. We talk about, the action inside and outside the ring. We talk about superstars, news updates. We talk about promotions from AEW to WWE for makes major news in the world of professional wrestling. We talk about it here on this show 1,010%. So make sure you guys, definitely, contribute to obviously hit up the chat. Tell me, how long you guys been wrestling fans. Give me your top 5, best wrestlers or, maybe top 5 worst wrestlers. Who knows, just anything to talk about. It's cool. All right, just kind of sorry, excuse me. Kind of reflect on what we talked about real quick. We talked about our WWE Monday Night Raw review. We talked about NXT. We also talked about the the Monday Night Raw Netflix era is going to begin in January. So we talked about what to expect from that. And now, without further ado, we're going to talk about New Japan Professional Wrestling's Fighting Spirit Unleashed. Overall, I got a nice little review throughout a lot of the wrestling news media sources and stuff like that. So obviously it was when it comes to New Japan Professional Wrestling, something that I definitely admire. And obviously I don't get the channel that they have the PLEs on, but I do obviously check out some of the highlights and stuff like that. It's a new style of wrestling, like, and it's very, I don't know how to really put this into words. Seems like when these guys are fighting, maybe they're more serious. Maybe no, I don't know if that's the right way to say it. Like, it seems like these people or these wrestlers, these superstars are actually like kayfabing it. Like, you know what I mean? It seems like it's actually personal. They hate each other inside the ring and outside of the ring. And I don't know, just the quality. I like it. I feel like it's definitely in terms of like being like, and like cinematic. It's compelling stuff. It's very riveting. So definitely, get shooting some respect and some grace on New Japan Professional Wrestling for having these matches, and their styles inside the wrestling ring are they're great. And sometimes wrestlers have to jump into the independent scene to fight in Japan to kind of get a taste and kind of have this new arsenal of wrestling tactics that could definitely open up your mind and cause you to open up your wrestling repertoire and your list of moves, because not everybody wants to see the same thing over and over and over again. So that'd be super dang boring. So definitely love the innovative style of the New Japan Professional Wrestling. So Fighting Spirit Unleashed, all in all, can't wait. It's Matt Vandergriff on the pre-show defeats Seabass Finn. Sorry, excuse me. I definitely love his finisher. It's called the Kiss My Bass. Thought that was kind of funny, play on words, kiss my bass. I'm just kidding. Moving on. Vandergriff post match was laid out by an angry Zayn J, obviously building up some future a future storyline and feud between those two superstars. So, but the match was actually, from according to the highlights, it looked like pretty dope. It didn't really seem like Matt Vandergriff was really that much out of Seabass Finn's league, but he was able to dictate the match, for most of the match, and he deserved the win. David Finlay defeats Kevin Knight. Kevin Knight has been, in terms of New Japan Professional Wrestling, I was, doing a little bit of research on the PWI. I check power rankings here and there, and then sometimes I see names, or sometimes I will see, oh, look at these match results. Look at, what happened in this. And I'm like, one of the names that popped up is definitely Kevin Knight. So, David Finlay, obviously, kudos, congratulations on your match. But, I kind of liked seeing these guys fight each other. It seems like these guys definitely have a future, feud between these guys. I want to see a best 2 out of 3 falls matchup. I feel like that'd be pretty badass between these two competitors. So, definitely love that. All right, we have grizzled young veterans, the team of James Drake and Zach Gibson, taking on Team DMK, Shane and Mikey Nichols, the champions. They become the new strong openweight tag team champions. TMDK's double championship reign is officially over. So congratulations to the grizzled young veterans. I saw them on AEW quite some time ago. Was it probably like a month ago? And they kind of got in the face of Matthew Nicholas Jackson when they were the AEW World Tag Team Champions, and I was like, okay, these are going to be the next guys to kind of dethrone them. Obviously, it wasn't. It was Private Party, which they deserved. I love that Private Party. Won the championships. But they're going to hold these championships pretty proudly, and with Wrestle Dynasty right around the corner, it's going to be kind of cool to see more. You're going to see fighters from the CMLL, Ring of Honor, AEW, and New Japan Professional Wrestling. So it's going to be one hell of a pay per view. I for one can't wait to see it. I kind of hope that they have it on HBO Max, so I don't have to spend money on, buying it. I'm just kidding. No, like I'm just like a wrestling cheapskate. I'm just kidding. No, convenience. Convenience is the name of the game, especially nowadays with AI and stuff like that. Like it's crazy. Everybody just doing anything just to make things more convenient. Just kidding. Moving on. So congratulations to Grizzled Young Veterans on their strong open weight tag team titles. Next we have Leo Rush defeating Mustafa Ali. Great match. Great match, hell of a great match. See, this is what WWE speed matches kind of need to be. And, it's a kind of like a breath of 205 Live nostalgia. Like I get it. Mustafa Ali was like the heart and soul. And back then, Leo Rush was this, he was this young rising star in WWE. And his push was absolutely killed. And, then 205 Live went under. And then basically he went under. So, you kind of have two forgotten successful stories of the 205 Live generation. And the fact that they're kind of showcasing their skills in New Japan Professional Wrestling is astonishing. It's cool. I definitely like these guys. Mustafa Ali was one of my favorite wrestlers, and Leo Rush was able to kind of get in the mix there. So congratulations to Mr. Rush. Next we have West Coast Wrecking Crew, the team of Jorel Nelson and Royce Isaacs defeated Dirty Work, Fred Rosser, and Tom Lawler in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Isn't it kind of an unwritten rule that whenever there's like a 2 out of 3 falls match, it always comes down to the wire? It always comes down to that third fall, which is what you want to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, look at the World Series or the NBA Finals. When the series ends in like 5, games, or somebody's swept, it's like, where's the fun in that? We want to see like game 6s. We preferably want to see game 7s. So, that is my philosophy on why whenever it comes to wrestling matches, they have a 2 out of 3 falls match, which is not stupid. You want to drive, you want to, thrive, and you also want to attract as much, attention to your product. So obviously, oh my God, one more fall to go. Like, so it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. But you saw Dirty Work get defeated by the West Coast Wrecking Crew. West Coast Wrecking Crew called out the new tag team chants, Grizzled Young Veterans, after the match. So we're going to definitely see something like that. These two, teams going at it in the future. Mercedes Moné comes out and she calls out the women that, all 4 women that are competing in that number 1 contenders match. And, kind of smart. You don't necessarily want to rile up your opponents before they're going to start promoting AEW Wrestle Dynasty pretty soon. She has a match against Chris Statlander in AEW Full Gear in I think like 2 weeks. So I kind of want to see her drop the belt to Chris. I feel like it's about time. She's held the TBS championship ever since she got signed. She made a debut in in AEW in March of 2024 this year. And, you saw her fight Willow Nightingale. It took AEW to turn Chris Statlander heel and Stokely to cost Willow Nightingale the match. just to kind of find out later on down the line that Chris Statlander isn't really the best, like, ultimate like heel option, because they turned Mercedes Moné heel. So I think that kind of bit him in the ass there. So then they're like, all right, we're gonna put Chris Statlander back into the babyface kind of category. But I kind of knew it was dumb. I was like, dude, why is this happening? You're sacrificing so much for Mercedes Moné. Like, it's by all means, she's a star. She's a star. I love and respect Mercedes Moné, but I don't know the way she's been. Like, I'm not saying she's getting special treatment, y'all. I'm not saying that she isn't, the CEO or whatever, but and also in the interview, she's calling herself the greatest wrestler to ever do it. Yeah, dude, confidence is key. It's cool, but I don't know. For me, maybe I'm a hater. Maybe I'm a hater. Call me a Mercedes Moné hater, but I want to see her drop one title. Come on, man. You can't have them both. Can't have them both. Whenever there's like a linked champion, you always got to lose one title, man. And it's all good too because you chased that New Japan Professional Wrestling Women's Strong Championship for quite some time. You fought, dethroned Stephanie Bakir of the champion. So dude, that's cool. So why don't you just lose at AEW Full Gear? Just do it, man. Make it like an Nike and just do it. All right, so then we had Hazuki defeat Trish Adora, Anna Jay, and Koyama. Hazuki definitely, she put on a great match inside the ring. She's going to give Mercedes Moné a run for her money, but if she loses against Chris Statlander, I think, she's going to, she's going to probably win, relatively, pretty easy at Wrestle Dynasty. But, I definitely love the babyface factor going at it. Hazuki is loved by the fans in New Japan Professional Wrestling, and they also love Mercedes Moné too. But, it's going to be kind of cool to see them build up this match. Kind of, you're kind of starting the promo here. You had Mercedes Moné come out before the match, obviously, staking her claim that, oh, whoever comes out is not going to be, not even going to have a chance at my title. So, kind of building up the storyline from the very get-go. And then you kind of have that lingering confidence of Mercedes Moné kind of be in the back of the heads of wrestling fans and be like, what'd be kind of cool to see, everybody loves that underdog story. Everybody loves that, David versus Goliath, you know what I mean? So, definitely think this is going to be, one of the best matches at, on the Wrestle Kingdom, card here. All right, Los Ingorables de Japan, the team of Yoda, Tutsi, Suji, and Shingo Tagachi defeated the Undisputed Kingdom. Sorry, excuse me, Mike Bennett and Matt Taven. The Undisputed Kingdom obviously has been. They've been kind of on a losing streak a little bit here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, probably out of their last 5 matches, they've probably been, less than stellar, maybe, averaging about 30% in their win percentage, and then Adam Cole coming back as well. I kind of had the theory that, they're going to, I don't think they would, though. Would they turn the Undisputed Kingdom against Adam Cole and MJF lead the Undisputed Kingdom? Well, because it seems like everything right now is just so hunky-dory. Adam Cole is, getting a lot of respect and handshakes from Malachi Black, Buddy Matthews, and everybody's really supporting him. So, or maybe it's the wrestling cynic in me. Maybe that's what's happening right now. But it should be pretty interesting kind of moving forward. After the match, Suji was attacked by the TNT champion, the scapegoat Jack Perry, creating a nice little buzz for their match at Wrestle Kingdom, not Wrestle Kingdom, sorry, excuse me. Damn it, Wrestle Dynasty. So I think that should be, that's gonna be one of the best matches. We had damn it, I'm not good with these Ryohei Uya defeated Kenta. So I apologize if I totally butchered that name. Sending a lot of love and respect, and maybe I should learn Japanese. Maybe I should. That'd be pretty cool. Definitely on the list of preferred languages that I would definitely love to speak. Definitely Japanese, sorry, excuse me. Damn it, that was so white. Definitely Japanese would be pretty cool. Some Spanish, maybe some French, it'd be like, wow, I'm just kidding. No, I'm moving on. We had Shota, Yumi, Umino team up with Tomohiro Ishii, defeated TMDK, Bad Dude Tito, and the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Zack Sabre Jr. After the match, you saw Jon Moxley come out and was disappointed in Umino. Kind of wanted him to live up to the full potential, kind of what Jon Moxley overall kind of had planned for him, but that didn't necessarily happen. So Ishii was able to kind of pick up the victory with his tag team. And we had the main event. We had the main event. Konosuke Takeshita defeated TJP. Once again, love TJP, 205 Live fan over here for life. But it seems like the addition of Konosuke Takeshita, with Roosh, also, Lance Archer, the new and improved Kyle Fletcher. You're seeing a different Don Callis family. If you would have told me that the Don Callis family would be, kind of edging toward their control of AEW, I'd be like, you're crazy. If you asked me that if you told me that like 2 months ago, because it seemed like it was kind of dead. They were kind of, they were losing. You had the Beast Mortos that was shining for a little bit. And then, it just wasn't really working out. Kind of this new age of, a Will Ospreay free Don Callis family kind of being a little bit more aggressive, which is good, which is great. I definitely love the revamp. I feel like it's great for AEW. Now you kind of have, them running rampant on Dynamite, Collision, and also Rampage as well. So, obviously I'm all for it. Go Don Callis family, man. Go Don Callis. All right, guys. So, hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to jump on into our fifth and final segment. Going to kind of try to wrap this up at a, decent pace. We got my boy Emran's, GSMC Dead Ball podcast coming up in about like 18 minutes. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Of course, after you guys jump with me into my wrestling DeLorean as we gun it to 88 miles per hour. Fasten your seatbelt. Grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice cold beverage to join me here in about like 25 seconds. All right. And we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here, Eric Rodriguez, every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time. We're here to talk about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside of the ring. We talk about superstar, inactive injury updates as well, contract negotiations, extensions, and new signings. We also talk about, promotions from AEW to WWE to Ring of Honor to TNA to, basically anywhere from makes major news in the world of professional wrestling. We talk about it here on this show, 1,010%. So yeah, make sure you guys, catch us on the flip side on the GSMC Sports Network. All right, guys, kind of reflect on what we talked about real quick. We had our WWE Monday Night Raw review. We talked about WWE NXT. We also talked about what Netflix's Monday Night Raw could possibly look like, the first episode, as well as, it moving forward. And then we also talked about New Japan Professional Wrestling's Fighting Spirit Unleashed pay-per-view that took place. Sorry, excuse me. I think it was on Friday, the 8th. Now we're going to talk about Tuesdays today in wrestling history. We're going to go back in time and talk about some stuff that's happened on this day of November 12th. And like I said, I was doing quite, some research, and I didn't really find out like anything like really like big. Obviously, there's always stuff that happens. It's no, but things that kind of like jumped out. Like it wasn't it wasn't really that much of a. I guess it really wasn't that much of a monumental day. So I think that's you know. But moving forward, in 1966 in Omaha, Nebraska, Dick the Bruiser defeated Mad Dog Facon to win the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. You know, that's an interesting name, gotta be honest. But then again, I'm not doubting how, kind of, I guess how intimidating it sounds, I guess. But Mad Dog sounds like an intimidating name. Obviously, back in the day, I feel like professional wrestling was, kind of a little, I don't want to say taboo, kind of like, like boxing or kind of like where you have these, Iron Mike Tyson or, you know what I mean? Where you have these, you kind of have these nicknames. So, if you look at it, that guy looks jacked, man. That guy looked like he can probably bench press 350, dude, with his pinky. So, definitely congratulations to the Bruiser who defeated Mad Dog to win the AWA championship in Omaha, Nebraska. Nebraska. All right, moving on. 2001, the Hardy Boys defeated Booker T and Test on Monday Night Raw to win the WWF Tag Team Championships. Also, that same show, Edge defeated Kurt Angle to become the final WCW United States Champion. That title would be deactivated at Survivor Series later that month before being resurrected as a WWE title in 2003. And like I'm not trying to throw some shade at WWE or their whole decision making in terms of the invasion angle. Like, but come on, this was dumb. Like, I can't, you know, at the time, Edge was like prolific, tag team superstar. Kurt Angle was, he was coming up. He was just starting. You couldn't really give WCW the glory to kind of kiss, the title that you've taken from the NWA. You couldn't really, you couldn't really have them take it to the grave, I guess you can say. The fact that it was resurrected as a WWE title was like, all right, let's end WCW. Let's put that title to bed. And now the WWE United States Championship, like, you know what I mean? It seems like a spit in the face for me. Personally, I feel like, they did a lot of WCW superstars wrong. Vince McMahon made an example out of them. Wanted people to know that WCW was trash. All those who were in favor or fans of the wrestling promotion, are they're not really wrestling fans, and you come over to WWE, you see a lot of talent wasted. I would have loved to see, just somebody else go after it. I would have loved to see somebody from WCW, put the title to the grave because I would love to see Sting do it. That would have been pretty monumental. Maybe, Ric Flair would have been appropriate as well. But I don't know. It just seemed wrong, and definitely during this whole invasion angle between WWF, WCW, and all of a sudden ECW, it wasn't really great. It wasn't really great. Definitely something that has been one of the biggest blunders in the career of Vince McMahon because you could have brought so much talent. You could have brought so much talent from WCW. You could have brought a whole wave of fans that definitely could have embraced the style of WWE, but instead you got people to kind of hate WWE. Like there's a lot of fans that were I was definitely one of them. I was like, dude, like the WCW was it was unique and it was edgier and it did kind of fail. And the storylines were a little lackluster at times. But these superstars were great. These superstars were phenomenal at what they did. Booker T, Scott Steiner, Diamond Dallas Page, to name off a few. It could have been, I don't know, for me, it could have been bigger. It could have been something more of like a wrestling conglomeration instead of, WWE just showing that they rule the world. You know what I mean? But obviously, it is what it is. Me personally, I would have kept the fact that Vince McMahon purchased WCW. I would have swept it under the rug. I would have made people still believe that these guys were fighting each other in the ratings to kind of make for more edgier content. I feel like that would have been pretty badass. That would have been pretty cool. And maybe From time to time on Survivor Series, you would have Team WCW going up against Team WWF/WWE. And then at WrestleMania, you would have on the main event, you'd have the top champion in WCW going up against the WWE champion. That would have been that would have been pretty damn cool. Triple H fighting Booker T with the WCW backing Booker T and the WWE backing Triple H. It would have been a monumental title match, or Scott Steiner. But when those superstars made it to the WWE and it was Booker T on against Triple H when they were both on WWE, it didn't really have that same, kind of zing to it. But overall, once again, kind of hope that WCW would have gotten treated a little bit better, and it would have definitely had one of those superstars and not be a WWF superstar who would retire the WCW United States Championship because of the glory that it's had on, in the NWA. So, definitely, kind of crazy. Next, in 2003, Lex Luger wrestled his last match for a major promotion on an NWA TNA weekly pay-per-view event in Nashville, Tennessee. He teamed up with Jeff Jarrett in a losing effort against Sting and AJ Styles. This was kind of like the beginning of, of the not the golden age of, well, kind of sort of, you had AJ Styles, you had a lot of fans, especially in 2005, 2006, start watching TNA. Like you had the six-sided ring. It was something new. It was something, it was edgy. It was innovative. It was just something different than WWE. And you had, top stars like, Christopher Daniels, Chris Sabin, Jay Lethal. You also had the Monster Abyss. You had Jeff Jarrett doing his thing. He was the main bad guy with like Jim Cornette. And you had Sting, and then, you had the likes of Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff come in, and Dixie Carter was like, "No, thank you, I'm out. I'm taking my father's company, Panda Energy. I'm taking our sponsor, and I'm dipping, potato chipping." Now TNA, before their collaboration with WWE, kind of faltered and kind of span out of control. Filled with the lawsuits. Even I feel like Jeff Jarrett actually, tried suing the company as well, which is kind of a shame and it kind of sucks. But something that TNA has always had that you can't really take away from the promotion, that their wrestlers has always been under the radar, always like diamonds in the rough. Every single time they have a chance to showcase their talent on a main wrestling promotion, they shine. They do less than stellar, abilities, wrestling moves, and they kind of have a different style in terms of, kind of like what I was mentioning with New Japan Professional Wrestling in the last segment. Definitely, TNA was definitely one of those promotions that kind of prided itself on developing young talent. But as soon as, they started getting, older talent, they definitely made a star out of Samoa Joe. They made a star out of, Kurt Angle. Bobby Lashley was great as well. But then you started bringing, people on that, some older guys, some veterans, something that, that happened to WCW that ultimately, you didn't want to promote the younger guys. Instead, you just have these, people like Hollywood Hulk Hogan have a creative clause in their contract where they can pick and choose who they want to lose to, what kind of storyline, is suitable for them. In that case, if the creative ability isn't in the hands of the writers, it's in the hands of the wrestlers themselves. That's already a recipe for disaster. You know what I mean? Like, look at, for example, I know this might be comparing apples to oranges here. Look at what's happening with the NBA right now with LeBron James, who fought so hard to get, all those superstars. I remember, I think it was Russell Westbrook. I think even Carmelo Anthony was on the team. And it was like, a team full of these old guys that, they got rid of all the young talent like Kyle Kuzma, Alonzo Ball, also the guy who plays for the Pelicans. Damn it, Brandon Ingram, banned Brandon Ingram, and they're like, no, I don't want to play with any of these guys. And now, he got the Lakers to hire JJ Redick, and now they're not really seeing eye to eye. Now he's posting stuff on X, Twitter or whatever you like to call it, saying that, oh, I had a vision, I was with Coach K, and and all of a sudden it was Dr. Dre concert and all this. Like, it's just, you shouldn't give athletes all the power. You should give them power in terms of, treat them with respect, pay them exactly what they go out there and make billions for your organization. Make sure they're taken care of. At the end of the day, you don't really want somebody to be kind of like flying high and feeling like they're bigger than the team. I feel like maybe that's the reason why I'm a huge San Antonio Spurs fan, is because Greg Popovich, he finds a way to kind of humanize the players, kind of tell them at the end of the day, you are just kind of shooting baskets, don't get too starstruck. Don't play for the name on the back of the jersey, play on the name in the front. Stay humble, and you can win yourself a champion through teamwork. The ball finds the best, shooter. And obviously, right now, with the San Antonio Spurs, they're in a rebuild kind of situation. But obviously, I have a lot of hope with Victor Wembanyama. I totally butchered that name. Damn, when it comes to, oh man, man, all right. Going back to wrestling, going back to professional wrestling. Basically, you pay these writers, so much money to kind of have, different creative styles. And, if you kind of have something where they're like, oh, let's just be part of our, have our own thing, and it just doesn't really work out. All right. Also, what happened? We had WWE Live Super Show, which happened in, I think it was 2023. I think it was 2023, where you saw Becky Lynch defeat Zoe Stark, Jey Uso defeat JD McDonough. You saw Kevin Owens defeat Jimmy Uso. You saw Gunther defeat Sami Zayn. He retained the championship. You saw Cody Rhodes defeat The Miz. You saw the LA Knight defeat Grayson Waller. Io Sky retained her WWE Women's Championship in a triple threat match against Bianca Belair and Charlotte Flair. And then in the main event, you saw the World Heavyweight Champion Seth freaking Rollins retain his championship against Drew McIntyre. So yeah, I remember. Did I watch that? I think I did watch it. But overall, it was classic WWE. It was great. I definitely love it. We got a couple of notable wrestling birthdays. We have the Disco Inferno, Elektra, Lena Yada, and Matt Coppotelli. Coppotelli? That's an interesting last name. I wish I had an interesting last. I'm just kidding. No, I love my last name. I love my heritage. I love my culture. So yeah, I can't really be complaining too much, huh, Eric? But anyways, moving on. Hope you guys had a great time listening and watching to this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Always remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity 1,010%. But of course, in terms of talking about sports, there's going to be criticisms. Feedback is a gift drop, however you guys feel. Inside the chat, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me that I'm off my rocker. Tell me that I'm, going for gazies or whatever. Make sure you, follow us on Twitter /X, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook for more content and updates. And like I always say, if I have not made you a wrestling fan by now, the NFL is heating up week 11. Damn, we're already halfway through the NFL season. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of sad. But we have two football podcasts. We have the GSMC football podcast with my boy Kenneth. We got the Chip Shot football podcast with Manny. And of course, in terms of talking football, there's always fantasy football. Find out how to make your team a WWE champion by tuning in to Chris Shepard's GSMC Fantasy Sports podcast. Don't miss a blink of an eye by him. Find out your stardoms, your sit-ems. Find out who to pick up off the waiver wire to make your team super successful. Obviously, Saturdays are full of action-packed college football, game day stuff, so make sure you tune into Tommy's GSMC College Football Podcast. Tune into Nelson's Sports Podcast, GSMC Sports Podcast. We also have Jeremy with Sports by GSMC, where they talk about any sports, hockey, baseball, football, basketball, you name it. Make sure you guys tune into that. And also make sure you guys tune into Emran's Dead Ball Podcast starting in about a minute. So I'm going to bid you guys farewell. Hope you guys had an amazing Tuesday. Can't wait to see you guys on a beautiful Wednesday. Stay beautiful yourselves, but most importantly, love you.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn ain't